welcome. It's going to be a great day. In the last episode, we looked at using lines, and I talked about thinking of them as contour. So if you haven't seen the episode, go back and watch that. So now, to drive home the point of how you should think of lines as contours, you're going to use pencils to create forms and contours. And by using lines, you're going to build shadows and forms. So let's start with scribbles. So as you can see, this can go anywhere you want. I mean, it's kind of like going back to childhood and just scribbling, even though this time you're trying to stay within the lines. But because we do have digital tools to use, even though we're making this look natural, that doesn't mean we can't take advantage of the tools that we have. So that means we can scribble outside the lines and then go back and clean it up so that it looks the way we want. So it looks neat. So it looks like we did do it inside the lines. Deception in art is nothing new. Use any cheats wherever you can. All right, now let's do some crosshatch lines. Now, crosshatching takes some practice to get it right, because the thing is, you want to go from dark to light, but you're doing that in a few different ways. I mean, you can do it by starting with more pressure in the dark parts and less pressure as you go up, or you can do it simply by building the lines atop each other. You know, more lines where it's darker and less lines where it's lighter, or you can use a combination of both. So you're really going to have to play around, if you're into crosshatching, play around with this to get it the way you want, and so it can look good. It should look like a smooth gradation moving from dark to light. You know, there shouldn't be any abrupt movements to it. I mean, at the very, very least, you can have moving from a dark to a middle gray to light, and that will be good also. So practice your strokes, because also with crosshatch, you want to keep the strokes parallel to each other when you're moving in one direction. That helps also with getting the gradation correct. Another thing I should have mentioned also is one of the variables in doing crosshatching is the distance between the lines. Well, I guess I did kind of mention that because they can use more lines. But it's different. Yeah, you can use more lines. They can be the same distance apart using more lines, or you can spread the distance apart as you go to a lighter value. So yeah, crosshatching is a lot more complex than it looks, even thinking about it now. That's one thing that after you've done something for a while, it becomes second nature to you, and that's what you really want to happen for the art to become second nature. Like, you're not thinking about all the things you do when you're crosshatching, all the things you do when you're drawing a figure, when you're drawing anatomy, when you're drawing muscles, when you're doing perspective. You don't want to be thinking about the rules the whole time and what should go where and how you do it in the whole process. The process should be second nature to you, and that's the purpose of doing fundamentals and doing exercises, so that this can become second nature to you. So you're not always struggling every time you approach your drawing. Oh, I'm having trouble drawing a nose. I can't draw the face right. Well, that's because you haven't practiced construction. You just jumping right in and trying to do what you see everybody do, but you don't know what they went through to get to that point. They sat down and practiced. They sat down and did the unsexy stuff. You know, don't just look at speed paintings and speed drawings and think, oh, I can do that. They didn't start out doing those speed drawings. They started out doing fundamentals like this, doing the basics. All right, and speaking of basics, that's enough with crosshatching. Okay, I think that is it for now. Don't want to just drag on and on. That's it for today. If this has any value to you, please like, share, and comment. Definitely like to hear from you. And subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Remember, just create.